Good evening. Welcome to Dispatch, the weekly show designed to keep you on track as you build and operate your layout. I'm Roy Smith, your dispatcher. Thank you for joining me tonight. We're going to start tonight's show with some important announcements. Then we'll go to a mail call, your layout photos, the question of the week, your comments, and a big shout out. Over here, the studio audience is waiting anxiously for the show to begin. And what a crowd it is. I can tell you this, you have to get here early to get a good seat. Well, of course, there are no seats here in the train room, and there are no snacks either. I don't blame you, I would be disgusted too. But stay with me because I need to make some important announcements. The first announcement is, it's still not too late for you to get in on the greatest event of the year, and that is the Steamtown get-together of model railroaders on May 18th. Some 200 people are going. My wife and I are going, and we'd love to see you there. I will put the link to my Steamtown playlist down below. You will find a number of videos there on the playlist describing all of the events during the weekend of May 18th and 19th. Be sure to check out the playlist when tonight's episode of Dispatch ends. Second, I'm about to leave on a trip for Virginia and Pennsylvania. And of course, the Steamtown get-together will be an important part of that trip. Sadly, I won't be able to upload any episodes of Dispatch while I'm traveling. So tonight's episode will be the last one until I get back from Panama. I also won't be able to do my regular Saturday morning updates. However, I will try to preload some train watching videos for Saturday mornings, and I will try to bring some railroad and model railroad videos back with me from my trip to share with you. Now, that's the kind of thing we do here on this channel. We share the hobby of model railroading. So if you're into model railroading, be sure to subscribe and hit that little bell icon in order to be notified each time I upload a video. Next up, a big mail call. I have a friend in New Zealand who has been helping me build my layout, and his name is Chris Perry. Chris has sent me box after box of detailed items for my layout. So far, you have seen only a few of the items he has sent to me, such as the yard office he built for Green River on my layout, and the utility poles for Echo Canyon. I still have boxes and boxes of stuff he has sent. Eventually, I will get around to installing all of it on my layout. Well, Chris has just sent me another box. I don't know what's inside, but I'm going to open it right now to find out. And in fact, we're all going to find out what's in the box right now, right here on Dispatch. Wow, Chris, what can I say? This is fantastic. Your generosity and your skills seem to have no limits. I want you to know how much I appreciate your help in building my layout. You're the man. Thanks again, Chris. Well, next up on the program, your layout photos. Each week, I invite you to post your layout photos on a Facebook page called the N-Scale Union Pacific Evanston Subdivision Group. And each week, many of you have done just that. Then I bring your photos over here to Dispatch. So once again, I have a whole bunch of layout photos to share with you tonight. And here they are. As I mentioned earlier, this is the last edition of Dispatch until I return from my upcoming trip to the States. But I encourage you to continue to post your layout photos at the Facebook group while I'm traveling so that we can continue to enjoy them. And when I get back, I will bring them over here to Dispatch. I'll put the link down below that will take you to the group. When you see this photo of Echo Canyon on my layout, you'll know you're at the right place. Go ahead and join the group and post a photo of your layout there. And now, the question of the week. Last week I posed this question on Dispatch. What advice would you like to give to someone just starting out in the hobby? Well, you responded to that question, and I would like to share as many of your responses as I can right here on tonight's show. These are the 3 responses that I receive most frequently. The first one is, start small and keep it simple at first, but plan for expansion later on. Second, do research. Learn about the hobby before you start to build your layout. And third, carefully select a scale, be it HO, N, or any other scale, because each scale has advantages and disadvantages. There were tons of other responses from you. Here are some of them. Now, I'm not going to pose a question for the coming week because Dispatch won't be published for a few weeks. Here's what I'd like to do instead. I would like to invite you to suggest a question of the week in the comments down below. And when I return from my trip, I can use your questions in the Question of the Week segment of the show. How's that sound? I will have access to the internet while I'm traveling, so I look forward to reading your suggested questions. And now it's time for your comments. This past Saturday, I posted a layout update on this channel called Reinstalling Fascia. Back in February, I removed the fascia from the front of my layout for better access to the helix. In Saturday's episode, I cut windows in the fascia and then I reinstalled it. Let's take a look at a clip from Saturday's layout update. Today I'm going to reinstall the fascia at White Mountain and repair the scenery along the fascia. That's starting right now. Hi, I'm Roy Smith. Last week I told you that I ordered some talus to put at the base of White Mountain. Well, the talus hasn't arrived yet and I can't install it until it does. That also means I haven't been able to plant vegetation at White Mountain, as I was hoping to do this week, because I need to put down the talus first. But I have been busy doing other things in the meantime. I replaced the fascia on the front of the helix, and I repaired the scenery along the edge of the fascia this week. Today I'm going to show you how I did these two things. Many of you posted comments in response to that video. For example, Craig Lord wrote, "Looking excellent, Roy. I will use your masking tape and spackling technique for some fix-it stuff myself." Well, thanks, Craig. The masking tape method is cheap, easy, and quick, yet stronger than it looks. I like it for repairing small damaged areas requiring little or no support underneath. John Grady wrote, "The repairs look really good. Always nice to get a do-over now and again. Can't wait to see you run some trains in that section." Thanks, John. I'm pleased with the way things are turning out at White Mountain and the Eastern Helix. Now I've got to get busy and put together some train watching videos to preload on this channel for those weeks in which I will be traveling. And Rob Tiemann wrote, "Roy, the repair is looking great and I agree. Leaving the helix open is like leaving the staging tracks open. It just shows more trains running." Thanks, Rob. I've come to believe more and more that it's better not to hide the trains. Visitors want to see them at all times, and so do I. As always, I want you to know how much I appreciate your comments. I read all of them and respond to as many of them as I can. Your comments are one of the best ways I know of for us in the hobby to interact with each other. And now, tonight's big shout-out. Tonight's shout-out goes to Ken Garst and his N-Scale Rattlesnake Canyon and Santa Fe layout. Ken's layout is set in Arizona and features gorgeous desert scenery. The layout measures 12 feet by 5.5 feet. It's designed for running long trains. In fact, Ken's longest trains are 14 feet long. Ken has created the desert vegetation you see on his layout, including his saguaro cacti, ocotillo, sagebrush, and other desert plants, along with pine trees and other conifers at the higher elevations on the layout. Ken uses Cato Unitrack on his layout, super elevated with concrete ties and beautifully painted and ballasted. This is the 5th layout that Ken has built. Let's go take a look at it. Okay, you've seen Ken's beautiful layout here on Dispatch. Now I want you to go over to his channel and check it out for yourself. I'll put a link down below to his channel that will take you there. Be sure to subscribe while you're there and tell him that Roy Smith sent you. Well, that just about concludes tonight's show. Remember, I normally upload 2 videos each week. Dispatch on Tuesday nights, in which I get to interact with you and which you are watching right now, and a layout update on Saturday mornings, in which I show you what I'm doing on my layout. But also remember, I'm going to be traveling for the next few weeks, so I won't be able to upload Dispatch or layout updates while I'm traveling. But I will try to preload some train watching videos for Saturday mornings. And when I get back, I hope to have a lot of railroad and model railroad videos that I filmed during the trip to share with you. Of course, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe and hit that little bell icon so that you get notified of new uploads. I don't want you to miss any of them. Thanks again for joining me tonight here on Dispatch. Until next time, happy railroading. I'm Roy Smith, and I will see you again very soon. All right, we're done. You can all leave now.